Okay. Yep. You know, I really thought that the Falcons MIBR game would be the most frustrating game of Counter-Strike that I would cover in a long while. But never have I ever been more aware of the fact that I cannot swear in the first 2-ish minutes of a video, or else this intro would be a lot more colorful. Because today we racked up the group stage of the Austin Major, the playoffs. The last 8 teams vying for the trophy in Austin have been decided. The playoffs start later this week and Thursday, and so we're going to go over these final set of games. We had Legacy falling just short against MOUZ. We had the Mongolz taking out G2 in the worst game of Counter-Strike that might have ever been played ever. And then we had Pain taking on Virtus.pro, which at the time of recording this has not concluded yet. Regardless, we could start prepping things beforehand. If you guys enjoy these same day recaps, I really appreciate it if you could take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The support on recent videos has been tremendous, and I'm forever grateful for the fact that you guys love what I do. Hopefully we can continue growing together. And lastly, before we get started, I would like to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, a CS2 trading website. You put in the skins that you want to trade, you select what you want, you use my code LionHeartZ for up to $5 off, or click the top link in the description, and boom, new drip.
Nice.
You can also use my code for a 35% deposit bonus if you want to buy with real money. And they have a free section with cool giveaways. So check the top link in the description, use my code to buy 15 Dragon Lores to let them know I sent you their way, and thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Legacy versus MOUZ has a lot of emotional weight for both these teams, as let's just kind of call a spade a spade. Throughout the first half of this series, pretty much all the way until the second half of Inferno started to slip away, it felt pretty clear to me that Legacy was playing better Counter-Strike than MOUZ. They looked definitively stronger. They destroyed them on the opening map Ancient, and had a very triumphant feel to their first half on Inferno, which up until this point had been undefeated for them in their time at Austin. MOUZ seemed to be scared, trepidatious, not comfortable, not able to find a way to settle down and start playing the same consistent Counter-Strike that they've defined themselves by over these last few months. But at the end of the day, and this is something we've touched on before, the hardest thing to do in Counter-Strike is finish the match. And MOUZ, who have dealt with their own choking demons many times, I think we're on the other side of the table for once, where they were the ones who had the grit, who had the ability to knuckle down and grind out these comebacks, and they forced Legacy to stare into the abyss, stare into the future and be like, no, we're not just the plucky underdogs. We're ready to be a top team. We're ready to beat a top 5 team. And Legacy simply was not matched up to the task mentally, and their decision making, which had been so clean, so crisp, and so concise throughout this major, fell short on both the second half of Inferno and the second half of Nuke, meaning that MOUZ have walked away with a victory and a top 8 spot after falling 0-2 earlier in the week. I think this win is probably the most important to this MOUZ team, even more so than finally lifting a trophy in Bucharest, because they finally did something that I think they've been waiting to achieve, and that's being the team who looked absolutely defeated and then reversing the trend to win the series. This was insane from MOUZ, the insane mental fortitude to lock it in and exploit the mistakes left behind by Legacy shows the fact that this team, while young, is starting to bring veteran savvy into these series, using the wealth of experience, using the wealth of defeats behind them to look forward and use that as fuel to win now. Their CS wasn't perfect, by no means. In fact, if you just look at the overall stats for all 3 games, MOUZ were definitively worse. But when it came down to getting the 13th round, the only thing that matters, MOUZ were the better team. I'm certainly talking broad strokes right now because obviously there's not much to talk about on Ancient, as it was the most one-sided game in the series. Both Inferno and Nuke were significantly closer, and frankly, MOUZ are just lucky that this got to a 3rd match, that they were able to keep the game alive. Because for much of Inferno, it felt like Legacy were going to find a way to close this out. They played very competently, they held MOUZ to very limited damage on their CT side, and kept things close 6-6 as we head into the second. Legacy strikes out by winning the pistol round, converting the early game, going 4 straight, running all the way up to a 10-6 lead, and it looks like MOUZ are dead and buried. Brolin, Xerxin are having no luck on the entries, which brings us to one of the biggest aspects of this series. I went and asked my buddy B-Trams, who is one of the best CS2 stats guys on Twitter, if he could find me some data on this. For the series, Legacy had a 45 opening kills. to MOUZ's 19. That is an insane deficit. That is so hard to quantify, but I'll try my best. Pretty much across Inferno and Nuke, Legacy were going up 5v4 in about 60%-ish of rounds. Easily more than half the time were MOUZ having to battle from a man disadvantaged situation, and they won the fucking series. That's insane. And this is what I asked B-Trans about. Was there any other series played this year where a team won while having this big of a deficit in opening kills? And it's not even close. The one that is closest was back in IM Katowice between VergilsPro and Eternal Fire, where VergilsPro won that series 2-1 with an opening kill differential of -17. For MOUZ and Legacy, MOUZ won with a deficit of -26, a difference of about 8.5 opening kills per round. What the fuck? But how did MOUZ manage to manufacture these comebacks? Well, I think there's two big factors. One, I think Legacy reached that point that all new up-and-coming teams reach when they're beating a big team, and that's the, oh shit, we can actually win this moment. They got a little sloppy, they got a little fast, and they started making some simple mistakes, whether it was badly timed rotates, or players suddenly whiffing a 1v1 that they were otherwise winning. It came down to these small moments in these man disadvantaged situations where MOUZ simply had more wherewithal, more grit to hit these shots. One round that sticks out widely in my mind on Inferno was a moment where MOUZ are bouncing back into this late A take. They managed to bombard the bomb site. Jimmy's all the way in apps, and he instantly, instead of rotating down to Boiler to hold for players coming around through arch side, he rotates around the backside of apartments out into alt mid, and then comes around to pinch into the Boiler players. Now Xerxes in the small pit gets a double kill, so Jimmy doesn't have to do anything, but the awareness to spread out your pieces in a 3v3 retake on the A side and give Jimmy the room to operate, even if Xerxes didn't get a kill or just got one, Jimmy was there to clean things up, because as Legacy was walking up, they fully cleared Boiler into apartments, anticipating a lurk player there. But Jimmy, one step ahead with that wherewithal, plays even further away from where they're expecting him to be. And of course, above all else, there were just insane individual plays. Xerxes, Torji, Brolin, Jimmy, they all stepped up when they needed to in these key moments to win these rounds. And honestly, I think coming out of this Inferno game, it's Legacy's best map. They failed to close it out. They fell apart at the end. You would think it would kind of be now. If Legacy was going to break, they would. But going into Nuke, which is also a map that they have won 4 straight on at this tournament, no. They roared back in a way that had me convinced that MOUZ can't keep getting away with these comebacks, because they went 9-3 on the CT side in emphatic fashion, they were just popping off. They couldn't miss a shot. MOUZ were just walking into headshots, whether it was scout wall bangs or it's hard to describe how electric Legacy was on this first half. I've never seen MOUZ look so defeated in terms of opening advantages, considering that Brolin and Xerxes are two of the best fucking entries in the world. However, Nuke reared its ugly head, and Legacy's T-side hit a brick wall that it could not overcome, man. And it came down to some heartbreaking moments. I think the one that is going to live rent-free in the Legacy players' heads is Neeson on the rotate in a 3v3 post plan on A, goes down into the vents, around into secret. Meanwhile, his 2 players left on the bomb site go down to Jimmy in heaven with an MP9. He has Torzi dead to rights, and he misses the first headshot, gets into kind of an awkward spray, and Torzi just 180 sits him down with the op, bro. When Torzi hit that shot, I tweeted out at the time, I was like, yep, that's going to be the backbreaker. That's going to be the deflator, because you're trying so hard just to get an 11th round, and at a certain point, it's just gotta feel like the Counter-Strike gods are against you. And man, it was emotional, honestly, watching how both these teams react to what was going on, because MOUZ knew they shouldn't have been here in the first place. They dropped the ball on the first day. Format be damned, they didn't play good Counter-Strike. Torzi really struggled. He couldn't find his form until they absolutely needed it in some of these best of threes. And just like Legacy on the other side, the team that shouldn't have been here in the first place, on a miracle run of miracle runs. If they had made top 8, it would have been one of the best miracle runs in major history, and they fall short at the last hurdle with firm advantages on both the last 2 maps to lose in crushing fashion. It leaves a lot to think about in the future, because I think the way Legacy played is definitely an outlier. They were playing on momentum, guts, fearlessness, You know, that feeling, that underdog feeling of we don't belong here, so what's the pressure? But now people are going to pay attention because you showed too much for us not to. Players like Dumel are going to stand out going forward. My honest thoughts are that Legacy can take this and build on it because their play in previous tournaments had flashes of this. They just put everything together in the right moment in these 2 weeks of play at the Austin Major. So out of all the teams that have come out of nowhere and gone on miracle runs, I think Legacy have the best chance of establishing themselves and becoming a household name in the top 15, top 10-ish, you know, right around that area. They've shown they can take some of the biggest teams deep into these fucking games and really make them sweat. I mean, best of one or not, dude, you beat a team in a Vitality that nobody else has even come close to fucking putting on their ass. And you beat them emphatically. Yes, day one, best of one Vitality were cold. You still won the game. So, like, we have to give you credit for winning the game at a certain point. So, really, I hope that we don't see something go wrong, like this team get picked apart, move pieces around, make some changes. No, I want to see another season with Legacy developing on this success because they got it in spades. They gained so much in terms of VRS and awareness and, you know, just recognition within the community. I want to see them work their way up the ladder and be considered one of the very best teams in Brazil. And with the competitiveness we're showing from Pain, Furia, you know, MIBR might only be one change away. I said this at the last major. I said this several times last year. Brazil is Counter-Strike's second strongest region besides Europe, and they are going to field a top 5 team soon, and they're going to be winning S-tier tournaments faster than you realize, and maybe players from Legacy will be the catalyst to make that happen. MOUZ, you made top 8, you gritted through 3 tough best of 3s. Let's see if you can retool, find some of the form we've seen throughout this year, and make a run in the playoffs. For Legacy, good job, and I hope to see more from you guys.
Oh, do I have to talk about the fucking G2 Mongolz series? Are you guys seriously gonna make me sit here and talk about this? I don't really think that I have anything to add other than my head hurts.
I think G2 should pay me some kind of recompense for having to sit through these shenanigans, because how in the fuck did we go 17 billion overtimes on Dust 2? Maybe one of the most painful LAN games I have had to sit through in recent memory. And apparently I have to say that a lot lately, because there sure do seem to be many examples popping up out of nowhere. Thankfully, and I'm sitting back, forgive me, I'm tired. Thankfully, I don't have to play Valorant, because Mongolz did pull it out in the end and win 2-0. I forgot to do my predictions at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to put it here now. I predicted MOUZ to beat Legacy 2-1, correct. I predicted Mongolz to beat G2, correct, at the cost of my mental sanity. And then I predicted VP to beat Pain, which they did do in 3 games. So I clean sweep the day, feeling pretty great about that. In terms of this Mongolz series, well, Ancient was a blowout. G2 were uncompetitive. It was 13-6. They just got destroyed. They just got destroyed at every turn. There was literally no competition from anybody. You had some moments from Hunter, MOUZ, and Heavy God, but overall, they just couldn't win rounds. Literally 6-6 half into a 7-0 T-side sweep from the Mongolz. And then Dust fucking 2. Well, let's just kind of start big picture for a second. Senzu broke the major kill record in regulation in a single map with 36 before overtime. And I believe the overall map kill record with 50 fucking 6, beating out Nico from 2017 and Cirque from Starladder Berlin 2019, if I remember that off the top of my head. Point is, Senzu played like a fucking psychopath, and he was unstoppable. The amount of multi-kills this man had with the AK in his hands. He did it with the Scout, the AWP, the AK. He is so damn good at everything, and it makes the fact that he struggles so much to bring that form out so hard to deal with. But when Senzu plays his game, he plays like a top 5 player in the world, dude. It's actually remarkable when he is playing his best game, how good he is. And on the other side of the server, I have to give my flowers to Heavy God, because Heavy God played almost as good. He finished with 47 kills, and there were so many impactful moments of him anchoring long on the CT side that he kept G2 together. MOUZ and Hunter also put up many memorable moments. The one that sticks out most in my mind to me was after a B bomb plant, I think in the first overtime. Hunter was rotating through tunnels, took this really aggressive push all the way to the lower tunnel stairs, and caught the 3 Mongolz players just totally unawares. 9-10 with his gun out, takes the first shot easy. It hits this just simply beautiful spray transfer on the remaining 2 players. Like, just a straight up fucking great play. And I hate G2, so I gotta give flowers where it's warranted. Like, that was fucking goated. And then, of course, way deeper in the fourth overtime, Mongolz had yet another match point. It was 23-24, I think the scoreline was. They went up 5v3 with the bomb down on the B bomb site on match point after like 4 overtimes. We were watching it live in my Discord in general. Come join the Discord, link in the description. And I just said audibly several times, exhaustedly, it's over. There's just no way. Hardest bomb site retake in the game. The game is cooked. And then MOUZ jumped through the fucking window and nails one of the best clutches you will ever see. Like, holy shit. He is the Guatemalan GOAT, dude. When MOUZ is hitting headshots, it is unreal to watch play out. And somehow, throughout all this, it's just like, there's so many chaotic narratives from this game. Like, both teams on the T side, keep in mind, this was a, what? This was a 28-25 scoreline game, 5 overtimes. I am willing to bet, without counting off the top of my head, that a solid 80% of the T-side rounds played throughout the entirety of this game were cat executes onto A. It was to the point that it just became like a meme in my Discord how, well, the round's gonna end a cat. It doesn't matter where it starts, it's gonna end in a cat push. I don't know why both these teams have a strat book that's go cat or save, but it was exhausting. Watch the same 4v4 post plant on A play out 50 fucking thousand times. If this game had gone to a third map, this video would not come out today. I would just refuse to do it. Oh man. Listen, G2, I fully expected to fall on their face and fail. It's very clear that the core of Hunter, Heavy God, and MOUZ can be easily built around. I just hope that G2, for once as an organization, get their head out of their asses and make the proactive moves to make this into a top 10, top 5 worthy core, because the pieces you are working with are really, really good. But please, for the love of all that is holy, fire snacks. Anyways, I'm just gonna kind of spitball about Pain vs. VergilsPro because nothing else matters. I'm just glad that series is over. So we're just gonna speed through this and get out of here. All right. It was 3 games. Pain won in the end. 13 on Mirage, very dominant opener. And then VergilsPro continued to be just a straight up threat on Inferno. I'm pretty sure they didn't lose on Inferno in this tournament, except maybe to Vitality. Hold on. Let's just double check that live real quick. We're just gonna do this here off the cuff. I won't make a cut because why would I do that? I'm pretty sure if we go look here, yeah, they played Inferno 3 times at the major and they did not lose it once. So I don't know, and all their Inferno wins were really one-sided. So yeah, they just like seem to have a really good grasp on that map. It seems to just work with their style immensely. There was a lot of insane clutches on Inferno 2, kind of saw out the corner of my eye. Fame ended the game with 26 kills and 11 deaths, and a lot of those were like his work straight up. Also, he had Flamus got an ace early on. Icy also had an impactful clutch in the pistol round. Pretty good bounce back from VP, all things considered. But then Dust 2, they got blown out 10-2 on the opening T side from Pain, and then almost manufactured an insane comeback, which is totally commendable at that point. With your tournament against the line, to go down to a 10-2 deficit, and then still find a way to claw this game back and make it interesting all the way to the final round, really speaks a lot to the fact that VergilsPro had some grit in this tournament that people really didn't expect them to bring. Sorry about the end of that last take. My dogs decided to fight each other for a second. Anyways, probably the round that sticks out the most to me from this Dust 2 game was DGT and Davideus found themselves on the A bomb site with the bomb planted cat. And I believe it was a 2v4 or a 2v5 maybe? Regardless, they were basically, they were just totally against the world in this clutch. And Davideus and DGT just ate VergilsPro for breakfast. Had this crazy triple spray on the players coming up ramp. He would go down and DGT would finish it off. It just felt like a round that they should lose every single time. And then just the best part about Pain recently is that with Davideus and DGT, their firepower is just way the fuck better. And these two are incredible. Maui Snake is dead on. Davideus, the Chilean donk, I'm fully believing. 2 Brazilian teams have made top 8 at the major. That is incredible. That is a huge takeaway that South America is undoubtedly the second strongest region in the world. I think I said that earlier in the video, but I'm just going to reaffirm it here. GG's to Pain. VergilsPro. I don't like Electronics and IGL, but fuck me, you guys played way better than I thought you would. So hats off. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. So what's going to happen, guys? Keep an eye out on VU's channel. There will be a pick-up video for the playoffs coming soon. I will post over my Discord and on Twitter when that is out. Then also keep an eye out in the next couple of days for another podcast video with me, Tony, and Vincent. Hold the Angle as episode 3. We'll be going over stage 3 and prepping for the major playoffs. So enjoy both those videos in the coming days. I'm going to hibernate for the next 3 days and be ready for the playoff coverage then. If you guys enjoy these same day recaps, you can show me by leaving a like, leaving a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if not already, help me reach 10K subs by the end of the year. Thank you to Skins Monkey for sponsoring this video. Check the top link in the description, go trade on their website. If you do so with that link, you get up to $5 off on $100 in trade value, as well as a 35% bonus if you fill up with real money. Thank you to Skins Monkey. Make sure you go over there and show them some love. Thank you to my channel members, Justin, Jesse Furley, Milan Berta, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, Patatas Kaftesi, PTR, B1 Games, Cody Foxworthy, Justin Vegt, I'm Flashbangs, Nomi White, Rowdy, Vergil'sPlasticChair, and Sid Pro 12. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so in the link in the description. Fuck, I nearly did that really good. You can go to this link in the description down below for $5 a month. You can support me directly, get your name in the video, just like this, as well as a customer owner community Discord. All about JesseTiv/LionHeartZ. I'll see you guys soon in another video. Peace.